Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, people, wherever you're watching from. Welcome back to BBK Sports. Glad to have you. Hit the like button while you wait as you pop in and out the stream. I appreciate every single one of you. I see man like AFC always. Ooh, got an echo here. Is here already frustrated, just like the rest of us. Frustrated. Is frustrated to say the least. Big up to AFC always. AFC say transfers, Arsenal transfer strategy. 5 to 6 months of being linked to the player, 1 month of closing in on the player after 50 offer 50% less than the asking price. 6 week of negotiation. Target signs for rivals. Or we end up paying more. Being linked with, monitoring, would like to sign, in love with. This is, man, you know what? Ever since I started doing comment of the day, these comments has just been better and better. And the first comment of the day might be the comment of the day. So AFC, I'm gonna start this one because this is, I don't know how many times I have hit this talking point where I'm like, link with everyone, sign no one, except if it's Kai Havertz though. You linked with Kai Havertz on Monday and he's holding up the shirt on Tuesday. Another reason why I have an axe to grind against Kai Havertz and whoever thought that he was the answer to the problems at Arsenal Football Club. You got AFC against it. Man City making three signings in quick succession, but Top Goodness telling us be patient. It's only been 4 days. Yeah. Even in January, Manchester City knew what they were needed. They knew what they needed. Went out and started solving their problems in January, knowing that they're getting a Ballon d'Or winner back into their midfield and almost won a trophy. They made it to a final while doing a preseason in the middle of the season and finishing third. That is good business by Manchester City. Bluebird says, did you answer the question yesterday about Arteta, about defending Arteta? Sorry if I missed it. Well, yes. The short answer is yes. And I had to defend him one time when I think it was the 2023 FA Cup. The year they knocked us out the FA Cup away at the Etihad when Nathan Ake scored a 1-0 goal. The narrative was being run that he threw the cups. I do believe that he has thrown some cups. I didn't believe that he threw that cup because we did field a strong team. Manchester City fielded a strong team, and they beat us 1-0 with a Nathan Ake goal, right? He left back scored a 1-0 goal away at their ground. They went on to win a treble. They were the better team that day. I don't believe he threw that game. I don't believe he threw that cup. So the throwing away cups narrative was going a little bit too far, too extreme. I didn't feel like he threw away that cup. So I defended him in that aspect because what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to back myself into a corner where I'll say Arteta out, Arteta out, Arteta out. Then when he has an idea or does something good, because I'm so anti him, I can't praise it. So that was the last time I actually had to see myself go out on a limb and actually actively defend Mikel. But yeah, I hope that answers your question, my guy or girl, whoever you are, Bluebird. Appreciate you checking in. I do not want to talk you out of term. AFC always says only news we're going to receive all summer will be dragging out Zubimendi for the whole window and debating Gyökeres versus Sesko, while our rivals sign players left, right, and center. Trust the process. AFC, how are you outdoing yourself already with another banger of a comment? I'm going to go ahead and start this one as well because I have to come back to this one. Based on how you ended that, I have to come back to it. But let's just to calm my nerves, people, with the frustration of this Arsenal Football Club. I just have to have my little jams in the background. I'm sorry. And if the little jam in the background annoys or irritates anyone, please let me know and I'll turn it off. But I just like the vibe to it when I speak. But big up to AFC always. I will come back to that comment because it is critical to some of my talking points that I have today. AJ Bayet, top guy in these YouTube streets. Big up to you, bro. Hope you are well. Hope everything is good. The Waffle Don is in the building. And yesterday, I have a lot of people to big up today, a lot of people to thank. First of all, let me big up the Jordy Dread if he is watching. Today is his birthday. Big up on your Earth Strong. Bex, hope everything is good. Make sure I click this and send it to you. Big up to you, my bro. You're one of them dudes in these YouTube streets that no one can ever get me to disrespect or go against. Top guy. Big up to the Waffle Don. Big up to Abs. Oh, man, you know what? This guy right here, man. I see him. I can't even get to the comment yet. But once he's in the building, I just have to hit him.
I think I'm Big Meech, Larry Hoover, whipping work. I think
Maybach music.
Big up to E. Ross in the building. Big up to you, bro. Hope everything is good. Now, Ab said something yesterday, and yesterday when the chat is very active, and big up to the chat from yesterday. The chat was going crazy, sending in great comments, making great points. I had 2 panelists on the show. I'm going through the comments because I can't ignore any of them. Ab said something that kind of went over my head, and I kind of started to think about it this morning. And it was about Arteta being sacked, and he's not getting sacked because he has hit his KPIs. And I agree, but at the time I just nodded and kind of move on. And then I started to reflect on the season, just to think, if he hit his KPIs and we finished trophyless, that means trophies was never part of his key performance indicators. His performance package, his targets for the year did not include trophies because he hit his KPIs and is not under any pressure. He is not moving like a manager that's under any pressure. So what KPIs did Mikel Arteta hit? Challenged for a league title, quote unquote challenge. If anyone is listening and not watching, challenging, right? And there or thereabouts in the Champions League. I'm sure if he had made it to the quarterfinals and got knocked out to Madrid, that would have been sufficient. That would have been like, it's Real Madrid. But the fact that we got past Real Madrid was even a plus. He probably got a bonus for that, right? Excelling or getting further than you did last year in the Champions League. Another KPI. EFL Cup, FA Cup KPIs weren't there to be won. I always say that the fans of the football club or the stakeholders of the football club need to absolutely be able to put pressure on the club. All right? He's absolutely to be able to put pressure on the club. And it's up to the fans now to put their KPIs, their key performance indicator, and require and demand that a trophy be won in the 5th year, in the 6th year. That is not crazy to say. But I did think that was interesting. Now that we know that he has hit his KPIs and finished trophyless, we know that trophy was not a priority for him or for the management or ownership. Big up to E. Ross. Had to hit you with that Larry Hoover before I got down to your comment, bro. Big up to you. Hope everything is good on your side of the world. Can someone explain why we are not after Jonathan David, who is better than Sesko? Yeah, we can explain. Arteta doesn't want him. Arteta does not want anyone who will challenge Kai Havertz. Because I'm not trying to be hyperbolic or try to be the first one to say it. Oh, I said it first. So no, I honestly do believe this, people. I honestly do believe that going into the summer, going into August, into the 2025/2026 season, that Kai Havertz will be our starting number 9. I do believe it. If Mikel Arteta is still here, he is gonna, to the detriment of the club, try to prove to us that he can make this work. Big up to everyone watching, people. Make sure you hit the like button as you're popping in and out the stream. Obviously, I'm not naive enough to think you're going to stay with me all day. If you do, God bless. But if you don't, at least hit the like while you're here, if you like what you're hearing. But I'm not trying to be hyperbolic. I'm not trying to shit on Sesko or Gyökeres or Jonathan David, who I think is an upgrade on Havertz, GA-wise. The short answer is Arteta doesn't want him. Does not want him. Big up to E. Ross again. Man, like E. Ross. And if E. Ross is still here, You know, we gotta big up E Ross, man. We gotta big up E Ross every single time.
I'm alone in my room, sometimes I stare at the wall. Automatic weapons on the floor, but who can you call? My down bitch.
Woo! Some music in the morning. Gotta have my music, you know what I mean? Music is a big part of what I do. It calms me down. Calms me down when the football club pisses me off. Absolutely does. Yeah. But big up to E Ross telling the people to hit the likes. Let me scroll back up here and see what we got going on. AJ bigging up E Ross. E Ross. Some duppings going on. AFC in the building says abs. Big up every time AJ buy it and waffle that. Salute to the fellas. Let's go. The fire from abs. Bigging up. Yeah, man, I love this. 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 API, wrong case point, inherit. Another star. A possible comment of the day. Big up to you, Abs. Big up to you, E. Ross. Big up to man like Why Not? Wapna Napari. Big up BBK. Funky KPIs. I was speaking to Mr. Robo about Arteta's KPIs there, but it was just to comfortably get top 4 and stay in the Champions League, progress. Because Arsenal made a lot of money this year, people. 177 million from the payout. Yeah. And like almost 100 million from the Champions League payout semifinal. We made more money in the Champions League than Barcelona. Only the finalists made more. We are paid. We are well paid. He made him a lot of money. He hit his KPIs. And all is well in the land of the Cronkies. We are still in the concrete talks with Sing the Thing and Move is the window open or what? So sign the thing. I think you meant sign the thing and move in the window is open or what? Bro. So now with the evidence in our face that it was clearly PR when we got bounced out the FA Cup and they released the Zubimendi news. We get bounced out the Champions League, they released the Zubimendi news. Now can you see it? The people who are just lapping up the PR, lapping up everything that the club does. Now can you see it? Because if it was a done deal in January, if it was a done deal in May when we got knocked out the Champions League, what is the holdup now? Where's the shirt? Because we didn't hear any done deal about Jonathan David. We didn't hear any done deal about Frimpong. Frimpong is at Liverpool. He is a Liverpool player. Even though we knew Trent was leaving, it wasn't a done deal that he was going to Madrid. He is in Madrid. And Zubimendi is still in Spain. Well, then we can already write the next season off on the Mem side. Yeah. Like, bro, I'm of the opinion that if we go into August with the same squad, with Havertz as our striker, which I think will happen, I'm checking out, bro. I'm gonna go watch rugby. I'm gonna go watch the Kaiser Chiefs, with Godfrey. I can't hear it, man. I can't hear it. Hard times incoming being an Arsenal supporter, bro. Get your Hennessy, get your whiskey, your Crown Royal, whatever it is that you drink. Big up to the BX Gunner. BX Gunner, that was gonna be tomorrow. They're so sophisticated. It is coming. I got a whole Rick Ross folder. But for you guys, I do DJ part-time, right? I used to, not an active DJ anymore, but I still have all the equipment, my laptop, my mixers and all that stuff. It's not incorporated here, but I just transfer some of the files over just to have some fun with the chat whenever E. Ross checks into the chat. But yeah, man. Lobbing to the music, my guy. Asna and Orberta and Ernie are not utilizing them and maximizing the window. The transfer window was the deluded leader espoused loan market and freeze easy business, right? But Liverpool are making it look easy. Manchester City are making it look easy. We're making it look like a damn making a time machine or a time machine exercise. We're just doing the whole mazza. We're gonna end up being on preseason tour and still being linked with players. And then, we start slow. It's gonna be, hey, he didn't have a preseason, because I heard that mistake. I heard that from Moreno last year. He didn't have a preseason. He got hurt in training and all this stuff while we were linked with him for however long. The entire time the team was over here training, he was linked with the club. And somehow nothing until the season had already started. Absolute madness. I have so much patience, but this club just really, really pushes me to the brink. I bet Arsenal aren't even in these strikers' preferred destination. They're not. Because big up to BX Gunner. If you are a striker, if you're a top striker and you play for a team that's possibly competing for a World Cup spot or gonna be in the World Cup in 2026, like, as a manager, he knows that things get a little more complicated in World Cup year. Players that will normally be quiet will throw a stink for playing time. And if a player knows that he's going to get playing time and more money at Manchester United, he's going to go to Manchester United. No one is coming to Arsenal to play Arteta's boring attacking football or lack thereof. Recycle FC. Like, people actually forget that Jack Grealish is an attacking player because he doesn't do any attacking. Drop, hesitate, pass the ball back to the left back. Pass the ball back to the left back. Essentially, is what he does. Martinelli, Jack Grealish play the same way. Well, Jack Grealish holds his head up. But essentially what they do is hesitate, pass the ball back. Hesitate, pass the ball back. And there is no coincidence is who's coaching them. It is clear instruction, because we've seen Jack Grealish at Aston Villa drop his shoulder and run past man many a times. Even Jeremy Doku started the season well. And he himself turned into a damn robot as the season went on. Concrete, the new PR word. Concrete links. Concrete links with player X. Concrete links with player Y. Yeah? That's where we are now. That's where we are as a football club. Big up to everyone in the chat. Big up to men like E. Ross. The Waffle Don says, what about players not wanting to come to Arsenal? I feel like Arteta is a big sticking point. These players talk. Absolutely, bro. And these international camps, these players talk. I'm pretty sure even a player like Cole Palmer will look at Bukayo Saka and be like, bro, man got the shackles on you. When's the last time you dribbled past someone? Players, these are young guys, right? A person like me that's not on TikTok, that's not on Twitter, these young guys can't live without social media. They're on social media. They talk to their peers all the time. They get reels. They get memes. They get all this stuff. And don't let them lie to you and tell you that it doesn't affect them. It absolutely does. It absolutely does. There's a reason why Saliba's head is turned to Madrid right now, because all his French mates are there. I know you man seen that clip of Marcus Thuram sitting there staring at Dembele with the "I love you but I hate you" stare. I love you as my French teammate, but you just slapped us 5-0 in the Champions League final. These men are going to talk. Saliba is there in that camp. So he sees Dembele with the Champions League. He sees Marcus Thuram, who would lift to the Serie A title next year. He sees Tchouaméni. He sees Bellingham, who won the Champions League last year. Camavinga. He sees these men. They talk. Big Willie, you want to come join us? Martinelli's going to see Marquinhos down there. Hendrick, Vinicius. These men who didn't win this year, but they have won recently. Boogie BX. That's E. Ross. If Havertz is our striker, I'm going to support Inter. New head coach, says Fabregas. I saw a report this morning, AFC, that he is staying with Como. He's staying with Como because he has part ownership and they're actually doing well. But, how humble of him. That's Fabregas, yeah? A player who was twice the player as Mikel Arteta was to go actually learn his trade at a smaller club, actually learn how to be a manager. And the irony of the silver lining between them two, because it was when Fabregas left in 2011, AFC, correct me if I'm wrong. When Fabregas left in 2011, we went to Old Trafford in August and got slapped 8-2, and Arteta became our panic buy to replace Fabregas. And now one is managing Arsenal, one is managing Como. One was twice the player the other one was. Imagine that. One was generational in Fabregas. Well, I shouldn't even have to say that. Shouldn't even have to guess. Bach's gonna say Eros 100%. I don't think Gyökeres wants to come to Arsenal, man. I don't, bro. Like all those goals he was scoring for Amarim, if he had to choose, same money, he might choose it. Man will. If man is willing to sacrifice Champions League football, yeah, in a World Cup year, to go play for a team that's not in the Champions League, that is Arteta tax at its finest. That is heavy, heavy Arteta tax. That's what we have to live with. Big up to the assembled. The assembled yesterday asked us the question, what is Arsenal? And I was stumped. I was like, I don't even know what we are anymore, the assembled. And the more thought I put to it, the more of a sticking point it's in my head. I don't know what we are. We are a North London business who plays football with tens of millions of customers around the globe. We're not a football club anymore. We're not a football club that's about the business. We're a business that just happens to play football. And with some of the most loyal customers. And those loyal customers, between those loyal customers, there's a hella divide. Not even a hella divide. There's a 90-10 where 10% of the fan base are angry, breathing through their ears, trying to get the club to win. And the other 90 are just happy to be here. Talking about, hey, we got 49 trophies, third biggest club in England. But if we go another 20 years at this level, we will not be the third biggest club in England, right? Chelsea just picked up another one. You know what I'm saying? Another one close to us. Big up to Mr. Robo. Mr. Robo, get at me. Mr. Robo is hard to reach, you know. So I got to big up to Brother Views. Views was able to get Robo on a stream with him. He was weird seeing Robo on a screen with another content creator. It was good, though. Because Mr. Robo is a solo machine. Big up to you, Mr. Robo. Got to do a stream one day, my guy. I'm not on X. I'm not on Twitter. But, you know, you can probably get my number from Views. And we'll link up and do a stream. My Latvian brother. Big up to the Latvian connection. Kristaps Porzingis played for my New York Knicks. We traded him. Ended up in Boston and winning the damn NBA championship before we did. But big up to Luca. FC always said, hi, how are you? I unblock you on YouTube. You didn't mean to unblock you. Luca out here blocking AFC always. What are you doing? Hopefully you man sort that out. AJ bigging up the assembled. Luca said Gyökeres ain't coming because of Arteta. We getting Sesko. We absolutely getting Sesko. We're absolutely getting Sesko. 13 Bundesliga goals. Not starter numbers. Those are Kai Havertz numbers. So he's coming to be a deputy to Kai Havertz. Gyökeres isn't. You can't bench Gyökeres coming up a 39-goal season in the domestic league. I think he's over 50 in all comps. Man, that you score 50 goals in all comps, you don't come to a club that's challenging for a league title and sit on the bench. And big up to Dan Potts. Dan Potts made a great point yesterday because I admit that there is tax in the Portuguese La Liga. I do believe there is tax there. I also believe there's tax in the Bundesliga. There was Kai Havertz tax at Leverkusen. Comes to the Premier League and can't score. But what the point that Dan Potts made yesterday was people talk about Darwin Núñez lighting up that same league. Look at Gyökeres' numbers this season and look at the other strikers' numbers in that league. If it was so easy to score goals in that league, why every other striker isn't nowhere close to 39 domestic goals? Nowhere close to it. AJ bigging up Mr. Robo. The community is here, people. The community is here. Absolutely love it. There must be something wrong with Eucharist. Before the window, like 5 or 6 teams were linked with him. Now barely Arsenal are linked. Arguably, what's going on there? I don't know. It could be one of them ones where his agent will just say, hey, the player wants to go to one of these 2 clubs. And that information just hasn't been leaked. Right? But if Arsenal isn't one of those clubs, then we know where he's going. And it's probably going to link up with his former manager. And the thing is, whenever Arsenal is linked with a player, it makes news immediately. Because the Arsenal PR machine at Sky Sports is, they know they get clicks. They know they get eyeballs on their screen whenever they mention Arsenal. So whenever Arsenal is linked to a player, we hear about it quickly. AJ, do you think we get Sesko or Gyökeres? It's Sesko for me, man. We're getting Sesko, not who we want. We're going to get who he wants. And by he, I mean Lord Mikel. Robo bigging up AJ. AFC bigging up Luca. Mr. Robo, if you ask me, it's the Darwin tax. Yeah, there's tax there. There's definitely tax there. But even if you tax 39 goals, that brings it down to about 20, 22 in the Premier League goals. That wins us the league. We don't need 39 goals from him. We get 20 goals, 22 goals, maybe even 18. We get even 18 goals from Kai Havertz. We turn half of those 14 draws into wins. Just half. We win the league. Or right there or thereabouts. Liverpool does not walk this league with 84 points if we had someone banging in 20 goals. And Muemo. Always. You are right. Why is Arteta not doing nothing for us? Because he can't, bro. He has peaked. Arteta has taken us as far as he can. And I think he even surprised himself that he even took us this far. He couldn't believe himself when he landed that job. And he couldn't believe himself when we came out the gate in 2023, in 2022/2023, when we had 50 points from 19 games. Halfway through the season, we were on course for 100. Finished on 84. Went out on a whimper. Make it make sense. Big up the Assemble. Say, I saw a podcaster this morning say that was saying 2 weeks ago that Gyökeres has a toxic personality. So if Arsenal don't sign him, that will be trending. It's like when we planted. It's like it's been planted there three like in 2 weeks. So this was the same thing that happened to Ivan Toney after Arteta and Edu met with him. The meeting that came out the meeting, they didn't like him. Didn't like his attitude. Now, has anyone ever heard Thomas Frank say anything about this young man? He went to Saudi, the English national team, Gareth Southgate. Has anyone ever heard anything about Ivan Toney's attitude? All of a sudden, Arteta and Arsenal linked with him, don't want him, and it's an attitude thing. Come on now. A goal does not care who scores it. I bet we would love some goals with attitude against Villa. I bet we would love someone with attitude who could score us goals against Everton, home and away. I bet we would love someone with attitude who could score us some goals against Brighton and Forest. Some attitude against PSG. Some attitude against Newcastle in the semifinal. You see the attitude that Isak had after he scored those goals and look back on Van Dijk like, who is this guy? Best defender in the world. He said, do you know who the fuck I am? Best defender in the world, where I just rippled your net. Some attitude. Personality problems. Like, what are we doing? So we like Kai Havertz's personality, yeah? We love his personality and 9 goals. We love his personality and giving the ball away. Always falling over, tackling himself and tripping over in the box. We love his personality and missing a wide open net against Man City at home. So because he scored when we were half line and 3-0 up, all of a sudden he's a great player. But when the game was 1-1 or 0-0, he got it, put it wide. He got it, passed it to Odegaard. Now we scored, but you're a striker. You get the ball there, you shoot. But we like his personality though. Luca talks about, yeah, I'm good. How are you doing? Says AFC. I haven't done a stream 2 days now. Oh man, get back in these YouTube streets, Luca. Got to put in the work, man. Some consistency. I know you got it. AJ Byatt, but Darwin was in Portugal alone. Gyökeres has done it in the championship, and at least if he stayed, I could argue Coventry would be up. But Mr. Robo come with the receipts, you know. But that's the thing. We have bought players from bad leagues before, right? No one respected League before this year, before PSG won the Champions League. A lot of people said, even that damn Terry Flores said the French league would be dead when Mbappe left. Not dead. But man like Bernardo Silva didn't come from Monaco. You can buy good players from bad leagues. And if he is good, if Gyökeres is good, he's supposed to put up these numbers in the shit league. Because if he wasn't, we'd be like, okay, you're playing in the shit league and still can't put up the numbers. But he puts up the numbers and we're like, oh, it's a shit league. But I'm not going to pretend that it's hard to score goals in that German league. I've seen Havertz do it. I've seen that Guirassy from Dortmund. I've seen him do it. He has over 20 goals a season. The whole world isn't in for him. But we're tripping over Sesko and he scored 13 Bundesliga goals. Nah, man. Big up to Views. Caught you on the watch back this morning, my bro. Had to sleep in this morning, man. I didn't get up early today. You know, rainy day here in Seattle. So I caught you on the watch back. And I posted your live this morning on my socials. So big up to Brother Views. Great content this morning on the intervention, people. Do not cheat yourself. Treat yourself. Treat yourself to some good content over on Views on Sport. Smash the like, he says. Bigged up by Robo, E. Ross every time, Mr. Robo and Views. Some dappins. Man, them a big up one another. The settings. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sorry about that. We can 100% do something. It's all good, bro. It's all good, man. I admire the consistency of you, man, of you and Views and Waffle Dot. Man, are consistently out here fighting a good fight, you know. And like Shane, putting in some good work. Big up Porzingis. Who the F is Tiskas Porzingis? Pingus. And one of the best players in the league, man. All-star. The Assemble said, question, if we're not a football club anymore, we must be a business. Every business has company ethos. What's the ethos? You know, most of these businesses or any kind of organization that has warrior ethos or business ethos, it's published. It's not a secret. It is published. You know what it is. It's written on the company's website. They have a mission statement. Yeah, I would love that from Arsenal Football Club. A mission statement going into 2025 season. That way we will know what the KPIs are. A mission statement from the club. Win. One word, win. Not the four-legged animal that runs around the playground, but an actual ethos, actual common goal to win at all costs. That's what I want our ethos to be. But that's for them to tell us, be assembled. The fact that we're out here guessing what our ethos are is problematic. Mr. Robo, I hear that because Victor Gyökeres would have made Coventry like Brentford or Brighton. Yeah. Yep. Ollie Watkins at Brentford. Brought him up. Was a big part in them coming up to the Prem. And moves to Villa. I hear it. I absolutely hear it. This Robo guy constantly slandering my Washington Bullets. I said the Bullets, you know. The Bullets wasn't politically correct. It wasn't marketable having a team with all the gun violence. Yeah. And they became the Wizards. Not for you, E-Ross, for everyone else in the chat. Just a little bit of education nuggets. But the Washington Bullets are now the Washington Wizards. AJ says 11 likes. Yeah, people. 22 watching. Let's get up to 15 likes, people. Maybe. please, and thank you. I am sorry that's not true. No striker put the same numbers as Victor Gyökeres. Yeah, I mean, 39 goals. You find in that 39 times. That is nothing to sneeze at. You know, maybe in the MLS, I would look at that as like maybe, right? Maybe there's some big up tax, some tax there, but you know, the Portuguese they get a Champions League spot. It's not the greatest league in the world, but it's not the worst. And when you bag 39, I'm willing to take my chances with that versus the guy who bagged 13 in a lesser league compared to the Premier League. AJ said 100% they will be up all the time. Oh man, the legendary Shane Gooner is in here, people. The legendary Shane Gooner has blessed us with his presence. Oh my God, I feel blessed. Big up to you, Shane. I am still full from the Irish breakfast. Can't wait to check out the Bruce Banana Show tomorrow on the road to 1,000. Make sure you go subscribe to Shane Gooner. 1, 2, 3. E. Ross, not my fault. They shoot blanks. Your Wizards are more like the Muggles than DC United or like DC who. DC United. They had a 2-day push when Wayne Rooney signed for them back in the day. 2-day push, but now they're just shit. Everyone bigging up Shane. Shane bigging up Mr. Robo. Yeah, man, big up Shane, man. Shane is out here fighting a good fight. Shane was pulling out his hair yesterday on damn Posh Show with that damn egal. I do not know how you do it, bro. E-Ross, these KPIs are max. Arteta Cronky points inherited. E-Ross, who you talking about there? Yeah, some back and forth going in the chat. I love it. I love it. Mr. Robo, we used to have Arteta bend them all. Alba, oh, personality. The guys with personality. Absolutely. Alba, Guendouzi, Laka. To an extent. Marshmallow of a manager. Crazy one, man. Crazy one. But yeah, we got the nice guys. We got the nice guys. The nice guys. Even retooling would not be enough. Retooling. How comes we never pretty much buy a smaller team's best player from the smaller team? Just like Fergie used to pick them up in the 90s, yeah? Other teams have done that. We have gone to a random league by a smaller player, Fabio Vieira, and then the player isn't even the best on there, Fabio Vieira. That's a great point. But people, here's the thing, right? Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find my overlay. 1 second. Because if anyone can tell me who this guy is I'm about to put up on the screen right here, I would be greatly appreciated. If anyone in the chat can guess me who that guy is on the screen right now, I'll get back to the chats in a second. I absolutely will. But this guy on the screen, anyone can tell me who that is? Pause for a second. Pause for dramatic effect. Anyone who can tell me this geezer who's on the screen right now. Yeah. Didn't expect you to know. That gentleman was a guy named Sam Hinkie. Sam Hinkie. And the reason why Sam Hinkie was on my screen just now is because of this comment earlier that our beloved member, AFC Always, talked about earlier. And he ended his comment with those famous words, trust the process. Trust the process. Sam Hinkie was the guy who was the general manager of the Philadelphia 76ers who started this whole trust the process shit. The trust the process was meant to be these guys. On the left, we have Markelle Fultz. You got Joel Embiid, Dario Saric, and Ben Simmons. This was supposed to be the process. They had one good player, this guy, number 21, and they were intentionally losing games so they could get draft picks to get these guys. And they put the team together. And they call them the Feds. Their initials, Fultz, Embiid, Dario, Simmons, the Feds. and all of this shit. This was the process. That was the process that they were peddling. The trust. Why they were intentionally losing games. That's where that comes from for those who does not know. The trust the process. Yeah? That damn process has led to the Philadelphia 76ers. They're the third worst team in the league. The third worst team in the Eastern Conference. Only Joel Embiid is still remaining with the Philadelphia 76ers. Fultz was traded. Ben Simmons is an LA Clipper. And Dario Saric is a bench player for the Denver Nuggets. Process never even succeeded, never even got off the ground. And the fact that Arsenal Football Club would even trust to model any kind of football success off that piece of shit model is alarming. So people here trust the process, especially people who don't follow basketball and who are in love with Mikel Arteta, who doesn't know where it came from and thinks there's some fancy PR that he came up with. No. He was told to say that. That's where the trust the process thing came from, people. It's the absolute shit strategy that these owners and these PR people were shoving down our throats for the past couple of years. Just had to digress and make that known for those who may not know. I'm sure that most of you may have already known that. Yeah. Mr. Robo says, bro, Karasi was 50 million, make that opportunity. I think he's on 21 goals. But we'll skip over him and go for Sesko on 13. Only because he's malleable and he's young. And we'll do what the hell Arteta tells him. Irasi and Boniface are twice the striker Sesko is, see? And I'm sure Shane watches enough Bundesliga to tell us that. I'm not in no position to disagree with that. I wouldn't want either of them. It'd be Gyökeres or Isak or Osimhen for me. Robo retooling and coping mechanism instead of rebuilding. Ross rebuild the team, the whole franchise. Abby Pinky, you are welcome, Chief. Always my pleasure watching you. Thank you, baby girl. You are far too kind. You are far too kind. Let's get trying to get through these comments here. Red Ross, Redneck Country. DC United had a 2-day push. Was it like Odegaard having a baby? Odegaard is crazy. Mr. Robo, you're on smoke today. Big up to Godfrey, the God of the fray. I am good, my bro. Hope you are too. Big up the legend in the chat as always. Gavin, salute to you, my guy. Salute to you. Ross, St. Louis, Robo, Conky can buy them. I love this back and forth between Ross and Robo. Silence, stand trash again. No one knows what Arsenal are or what the ethos mission statement is, what the club stands. In my opinion, you can see the chaos is reigning. Absolute chaos. But I mean, chaos, lack of leadership will tend to lead to that, isn't it? And we've seen that even outside of sports. And we've seen that in politics and business. If it's rotten at the top, the entire company and the infrastructure is incomplete. Disarray. Fultz. That's the Tomiyasu of the Sixers. Yeah, essentially. Facts. I think he's in Orlando now or somewhere traded. But yeah, the feds trust the process. So someone in that press conference that needs to follow up and be like, that trust the process thing that you were modeling of the Philadelphia 76ers has completely failed. What's the new strategy? What's the new strategy, Josh Kroenke, Mikhail? What's the new strategy? What process are we trusting now? Fultz, Tomiyasu, Embiid, Arte, Saric, Martinelli, Simmons, Odegaard. Mr. Robo is a madman, bro. He is stealing the living, bro. Man has been stealing the living since he missed that layup when Doc Rivers was still the coach there. Absolute madness. But it's in the thumbnail, people, to talk about transfers. And the Arsenal aren't doing any transfers. Yesterday, I did a segment where I talked about Cunha going to Man United for $80,000 pay raise a week from 120 to 80. The United fans came after me. There was, even one was in Views' chat under the screen name of Nemanja Vidic. How we're signing this player, that player. And now today it's broken that Muemo wants $250K a week to play for Manchester United. And I'm like, the United fans are outraged. I'm like, how are you outraged? Did you not see that coming? Like, I'm pretty sure Brentford finished higher than Man United. So he's actually doing a downgrade. If he's going from Brentford to Man United, it's not like he's going to be playing in Europe next season. And based on his output, 20 Premier League goals, that's what people who score 20 Premier League goals demand. That's what he's demanding. And the market algorithm, fair market price for a 20-goal a season striker in this Premier League makes that. And to be fair, that's less than Kai Havertz is making. Kai Havertz is on 280. He never scored 20 goals a season in his life. Never. So if you're Mbeumo, this is the highest your stock will ever be. And if you want to move to a club who pays healthy wages without justifying it, Arsenal or Man United. The difference is Man United does not have Champions League money coming in. So it's a sticking point where they got Rashford coming back, they got Sancho coming back. Chelsea said, we don't want that. We'll pay you to leave. Bruno's still on the books on big money. Casemiro's on big money. You just signed Cunha on big money. And Muemo wants big money. Why, as a player, would you want to sign for a club where you see players you're better than getting big money? You want your money. Your man wants his money. Pay him. Pay him. Bro, that is why. Yeah, bro wants some smoke this morning. Party. Hendon Gunner. Big up to you, bro. Hope everything is well. He was bigging up Hendo. Mr. Robo and E. Ross again. Yeah, man. Why not bigging up the viewers and everything is good. Bigging up everybody. Yeah. But yeah, people. It's clear, very, very clear, that we're more of the same in the transfer window. So I'm sitting here worrying or wondering what's the purpose of Bertha. 2 weeks ago, I said in 2 weeks we'll know what Bertha's on. So now, another week has passed and we still look like the same old Arsenal, whether it was Edu and Vinay and whoever was here. My concern is that Bertha is not making his presence felt. I'm not feeling it. Anyone in the chat is feeling Bertha's presence at the club. You let me know. I'm not. It feels too familiar. It feels like the same old Arsenal. It absolutely does. So, where am I meant to get confidence from? Liverpool were better than us last season, and they've already strengthened and are actively strengthening. Right? We got players who are coming back from injury who couldn't even get to their own levels, a la Ben White, Saka, Kai Havertz, who I believe will be our starting striker. Injury. Gabriel hasn't touched pitch yet. He's got to come back and recover from injury. I just can't see where the confidence is coming from that we've even done anything thus far that's gonna make us leapfrog or get close to Liverpool. Now, people, I'm a public book, right? I don't hide anything. I am a soldier. I've been a soldier for 24 years now, right? Almost getting ready to retire, right? So I don't get triggered easily. I'm a patient man, right? I'm a patient man. But yesterday, someone logged into the chat when I was on with Yaga P and Waffle Dot and essentially said, shut up and be patient. I don't normally get triggered, but the P word triggers me. Patience. It triggers me. And here's what I mean. We haven't won the Premier League in 21, going on 22 years. We haven't won any trophy going on 5 years. I think we've been very fucking patient. I think we've been too patient. That's why we're getting the Mickey taken out of us, because we've been too patient. I think the Arsenal fan base is one of the most patient fan base in all of football. Asking a fan base to be patient after waiting 20 years for a league title is a slap in the face. Seriously. Like, you're calling me a pussy, bro. I've been patient, and you're telling me to... You can tell a Manchester City fan to be patient. They've won 4 on the bounce. You could even tell a Chelsea fan, hey, man, you had a 20-year dominance. You won 2 Champions League, 2 Europa Leagues, a Conference League. You know, just be patient a little bit. So when you tell the most patient fan base to be more patient, it's almost like a slap in the face. It absolutely winds me up. You can't tell the most patient fan base in all the sports to be more patient. Triggers me. I'm not gonna lie. To the highest of order. Be patient. How much longer? How much longer? Are we gonna do a 30-year drought like Liverpool? At least they might be picking up the champs. You know what? Am I crazy, people? Am I crazy? Nah, don't smack him, man. I'll smack him. I'll smack him. I even got my slap button in here somewhere. But I just didn't give him the time of day yesterday. But that it actually, when someone can fix their mouth to tell you to be patient when you've been waiting for 20 years, 21 years, it's like, man, come on, what are we doing? It's like saying shit down and shut up. Man. Too patient. Yeah, we've been too patient. Too nice. We've been getting the Mickey taken out of us. You know the ones. And Muemo's gonna get 170K per week, not 250. Hey, Richie. PSR issues, yeah. There's no PS. Now Max came in here yesterday and said, "Man, United are getting rid of 8 players to make room for all these new wages." I'm like, bro, what 8 players? Rashford. Who's taking on that contract? Chelsea, who historically pay big wages, said, nah, we're not paying Sancho. We're not paying Sancho that. Now you got to remember, you have no European football. You're cutting staff this, you're cutting staff that, you're cutting this, you're cutting that. That is coming in strictly for the money, you know. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him one bit. Something to consider if things don't change, they stay as they are. Possibly get worse. Or possibly get worse to the assembled. Someone told me, this is not FIFA. These things take time. Be patient. Arteta is an excellent manager. Not gonna lie, I really wanted to take my flipping. You know what, Mr. Rob? I think I saw that short, you know. Did you turn that into a short or a reel? I think I saw that. I think I saw that. Yeah. The P word, man. It's an absolute trigger. Tottenham did nothing for 17 years, then the European champions. So we do nothing for 5. Hopefully we're Premier League champions next year, yeah? We have it leading the line, and I have to eat my words. Can't wait. We all know that at the end of summer transfer window is when we realize whether this club has ambition or just looking to make money, says Hendon Gunnar. And we have seen that too much not to believe it. E. Ross says, laugh my ass off. Sounds like the idiot on Robo's YouTube short yesterday. I told him this isn't FIFA. You can't do what you want. You can't do what you want, but you can win something. You can win something. Okay, I got you. Yeah, man. I know I saw that. I know I saw that somewhere. Big up, Mr. Robo. Question: how can Arsenal win the league when everything the club does works against the fan base objectives? We can win the league by getting a better manager. Liverpool couldn't win it with one of the best managers around. They hire a manager from the Eredivisie, and bang, man. We can go hire Conte. We can go hire this guy. We can go that. Better manager can get more at this bunch. It's not the only problem at Arsenal Football Club, but it's the biggest one. The biggest problem we can solve, the most effect. And Muemo probably has 2 valued contracts. 170 basic, 250 if they make it to UCL. I can hear it. But then Muemo has all the leverage now. He has all the bargaining power. He's a 20-goal Premier League striker. And Manchester United need goals. Herndon Gunner, I am getting there, not gonna lie. Since the last title, I have finished school, uni, I had a job, I have my own place, which I own, I have a family. Yeah, bro. So it was the Robo. I was a corporal at the time. So I watched Arsenal win the Premier League in May of 2004, lift the Premier League title. The next day, I get on a plane and go to Afghanistan, and I stay there for a year. And I come back in May of 2025, Chelsea are champions. May of 2005, Chelsea are champions. And I'm about to retire. I'm a chief foreign officer 4 now. I have been promoted and skipped so many ranks. And Arsenal still haven't lifted a league title. Depressing when you think about it, man. Well, you have to be a special bunch to support this club, which we are. And, I appreciate it because from the way you men speak in the chat, man, I can tell you men are a resilient bunch. It's the World Cup here, so we see who wants to play with the under-18s or take a pay cut and move on. Yeah, it's a World Cup year, so players going to be jacking for playing time, right? And if you're Mateus Cunha, playing time is important to him. You know what I mean? And man don't want to come play for Arteta, who's gonna just kill his attacking prowess and turn him into a sideways and backways passer. You know what I'm saying? He plays for Amorim. They speak the same language. I think he believes he can, stake his claim in that Brazil national team. And it is Brazil. It is very competitive to get in that Brazil team, even though it's not the Brazil of old. But man wants his spot. And he's going to make the best move he thinks that can get him there. BBK, bro, let me ask you this. Can you see the latter Wenger era repeating with this manager as well? Hell yeah. Matter of fact, I think I said this on yesterday's stream, E-Ross. If we start slow, if by the first international break in October, if we start slow, from those first 7-8 games, if we are 2-3-2, toxic. Because if there's too big of a separation by the first international break between us, Liverpool, and City, or even Chelsea, toxic. Man will be getting punched up in the urinals at the Emirates. I can see it. It's rinse and repeat of Wenger's latter years for me. Yeah. Thing is, even if Wenger left us in 2018, in 2017, he still won an FA Cup. That monster Chelsea team with Diego Costa and Hazard and Willian and Pedro and Fabregas, and beat them to an FA Cup in his dead years. Wenger. And Arteta's best season, we're still left with nothing. EBK served in the military during that time. Yeah. Yeah, bro. I am still a active duty soldier. I am. We got 26 in the building, people. Make sure you hit the like button if you're popping in and out the stream. Greatly appreciated. And Muemo is Muemo at 20 goals, or is Thomas Frank's system is the key? It worked for Tony 2 seasons ago, and Muemo played 38 games and only scored 9. So the thing is, Brentford, they don't dominate possession, why not? But neither does Man United. Man United do not dominate possession. That 3-4-3 that they play. I can see them turning you over. Ugarte breaking up play, Bruno, bang, Cunha, bang, over to Mbeumo. I can see it working. I rate Mbeumo highly. I actually thought he would have went to Newcastle. I think a midfield behind him, of Bruno, Tonali, and Joe Linton, and a front line of him, Gordon, and Isaac would actually cause major problems for Premier League teams because he's that upgrade on Murphy that I think Newcastle fans have been asking for. I just think he would absolutely bang if he had went to Newcastle. When you were a goal scorer and you have another fantastic goal scorer next to you that doesn't occupy your space, gives you a lot of space to work in. According to Egal, holding the club to higher standard is just shitting on Arsenal. Go figure. You mean shitting on Arsenal till we win? How about we try it first? How about we try winning, and then we'll see how we react. Because the way they're acting now in second, and praising and parading everything around, maybe that's how we'll act when we finish first. Yesterday's stream, I started off by saying in elite sports, second gets you nowhere. Can anyone in the chat, can anyone in the chat tell me who came second in the 2008 Olympics in Beijing? Yeah? I'll wait for it. Can anyone in the chat who was a track and field savant tell me who came second in 100 meters in the 2012 Olympics in London? The 2016 one in Brazil? No. We don't remember, do we? We remember Usain Bolt came first. Second place gets you nowhere in elite sports. Wenger in 22 years has spent like 900 mil and only 2 times finished outside the top 4. Arteta has spent 715.5. So Mr. Robo was like, bro, we might as well have kept Wenger and gave him the $250 million, the $750 million. At least the football would be good. All right? You give Wenger this defense and let him pick the attackers. I guarantee you we don't score 69 goals. I guarantee we probably have a 69 goal difference. We'll be scoring goals for fun. That is true to him, Herndon Gunner. If you're not sucking the life out of the club, you are shitting on it. Parasite settings. Parasite settings. I'm talking about Rashford, Sancho, Casemiro, Anthony, those with big wages. Yeah, but those are the ones that are putting you in PSR issues at the moment. These are the players that have forced in the club. These are the expenses that's forcing the club. They have to cut this and cut that service and cut this and cut that service. Somehow they got to find the money to pay Cunha 200 and find another 250 to pay Muemo. I mean, they're saying that they have PSR issues. We're not saying that. They're saying that. BX Gunner said the players still have to finish their dinner. Brentford attackers are clinical. Yeah, bro. Because their chances are few and far in between. All those chances that you see Oilen miss. And Buemo bags those more often than not. DBK, how is anything possible when nobody knows or understands what the club is doing? No mission statement, facts, or no direction. Just trust the process and ask no questions. Terrible customer service. 100%. It's beyond terrible. It's just shut up and let us do what we do. We accept it, don't we? So Era said Robo will know. I don't know, Robo, do you know without Google who came second in the 2008 Olympics? Maybe Mbuemo is fixated on United. I agree Newcastle is better organized, more stable club, but probably not willing to break wage structure. And if you're a Newcastle fan, you hear that and you're like, what in the... Because the Newcastle owners are supposedly the richest owners in sports. You know? You have Champions League football. You've had Champions League football 2 out of the 3 seasons. You know, you finish fit, you get a pretty good payout. It's over. I think it's $150 million payout for finishing 5th. 4th or 5th, wherever Newcastle finished. I think they finished 5th behind Chelsea. Did they not? Yeah. So there are clubs that just find a way around PSR. Clubs just find a way to pay their players and get signings done. Chelsea, for example. Maybe Newcastle need to start finding some of those loopholes before they close, because they have money. Because no one remembers the losers. Absolutely. 2012 was Johan Blake. I know that because it was Jamaica 1 and 2. I knew that. But I want to just, but I got you. I got you, man. Big up Mr. Robo. Big up Robo. But yeah, I went back to '08 for a reason, because '08 was when Bolt broke onto the scene in Beijing. So yeah, it was one of them ones. Arsenal are a Ponzi scheme. Trust the process, you will see the return. Maybe not. Pour the money in and believe and be excited. Yes, remember Bernie Madoff? Anyone who remember Bernie Madoff? Yeah, man is in prison. I think he died in prison from running one of the most elaborate Ponzi schemes in modern history. Put your money in, get back and get rich. Robo knows his stuff. Yeah, man. Robo is a sports encyclopedia. I wish they bring that Sports Jeopardy back on TV. They used to have the Sports Jeopardy. I think Robo would compete for Sports Jeopardy and actually win. Sports trivia is a hell of a thing, I love it. Oh man, John RV, big up to you, bro. Welcome. Know a new name around these parts when I see one. Glad to have you. Welcome to the community, everyone. Welcome, John RV. John, Arsenal moving like a snail in this window. Slow, John, like old people fuck. Just slow, molasses. Yeah, he knew it. I don't know. I trust that Robo didn't go Google it, but yeah, it was Johan Blake 1 and 2. 1 and 2. It would have made more sense for United to get Muemo, sack Scammer, and get Thomas Frank, who's proven to have a 3 at the back formation in the Prem. Yes. But when you have man that sit in the press conference after he takes a beating from Nottingham Forest at home, get a beating from Bournemouth, beating from Brighton, say, I will not change. I will not change. You give him 38 games. He got 20-something games that led you to 15. You give him 38, he might slap you with a number. Eros, welcome, and John Harvey. But yeah, man, I'm actually of the belief that maybe we kept Wenger and gave him 750 million. We may have been in a better position. It angers me that we sacked Unai Emery for less. We sacked Unai Emery for less. Sacked him for being in fifth. We Unai Emery had one crack at the Europa League and got to a final. And somehow we just keep making the excuses. They just never ever stop making excuses. It's like we've been stabbed in the back with a 12-inch blade, and then Arteta pulls the blade out 6 inches and calls it progress. Nah, bro, the progress is when you pull the knife all the way out and the wound starts to heal. But Arteta himself and the top gooners won't even admit that the knife is even there. They won't even admit that Kai Havertz was a bad signing, a pointless signing. They won't even admit that Fabio Vieira was a waste of money. They won't admit that Calafiori was a luxury signing when we all knew what we needed. They won't admit that. So we've been stabbed in the back, and they won't even admit that the knife is even in our back. And how do you win with these people? How do you convince these people that we're moving in the wrong direction? Because no team in the history of the Premier League has finished second 4 times in a row. We just did the 3-peat. Now, there's only one way we can move in the table that would be acceptable for any of us, and it's up. Now, can you say at this very minute that's the direction we're going to move? The odds say we'll move down, or at worst, stay at second. Then we'll be out here breaking another record. Only team to be a 4-time runner-up consecutively. That's not a flex. That is not a flex. How long must you know we're stuck at second base? I mean, how long must you knock before you kick the door in? He assembles said, John, when have Arsenal moved like a big club since moving to the Emirates? And yesterday, the Assemble said between the Emirates and Highbury, 2 different Arsenals. No one can disagree with him. No one can disagree with him. The missing piece has been the missing piece for 20 plus years and counting. Ross is always more jam tomorrow with Arsenal. Old English saying from World War II rationing. Why not say, will Arsenal sign a player before the Club World Cup or the preseason? No. Nope. It's drag our feet season. Drag our feet, SC. Drag our feet. We really are. The process cannot be trusted. The process never worked. It never worked in Philadelphia. It hasn't worked. It hasn't worked at Arsenal. Big up John Harvey again. Says Sesko is not it. Neither is Gyökeres. I wanted Osimhen or Isak, and that's it. Put your money where your mouth is. I love this. It's Arsenal or else don't sign, because I don't care. Well, I think John Harvey, like most of us, when the transfer window closes, we're just gonna check out and accept the disappointment in August, September, rather than kick the can down the road and face the disappointment in May and April. Yeah? Why not? Yeah, I'm going to check out and go watch some rugby with Godfrey, man. I just can't. We know what we need. Go ahead and do it. It's just now we're waiting for everyone to sign all the good players, and we go feed off the scraps. Then next year, make the excuses already. He was young. He needed time. Adjust to the Premier League. All this other craziness. Don't worry, BBK. We have sold Marquinhos for 2.5 to Cruzeiro with no sell-on clause that covers Havertz's salary for almost 9 weeks. Didn't we pay them an extra $3 million for Marquinhos just because? Like they said it was this price, so we gave them this much just because, right? At a time when we claimed we didn't have money. And they're gonna, what about today? And the club go on preseason tour in just over a month. Yeah, I think they go to Asia, yeah? I know they came to the States 2 years in a row. And, you know, they usually kick off their preseason tour in Nuremberg, Germany. That's where I met most of the players. Because when I lived in Germany, Nuremberg was just right down the road. So I'd go down the road to meet the players. And when I go there to meet the players, you know, the AFTV army was there in full effect. That's when I knew that they were tied into the club's PR. Arsenal are never prepared for the new season, as their new players arrive middle of July to the end of August. Yep. Day late and $1 short. That's what we doing. Mr. Robo can't even make our money back on a free signing. Oh my God. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, this is bad. We can't make your money back on a free signing. Just like when we gave Aubameyang away to Barcelona. Then they turn it around and sell him 6 months later. So we pocketed money from Barcelona. Oh my God. The Asna. Ross now. It's the Netflix FC. Yes, people. BBK planning to get my Grizzly shirt on soon official. Yeah, make sure you get that John Morant. John Morant, man, he's their star. He's a bad boy. Not gonna lie, he's their bad boy. Just need to stay off of Instagram and keep the guns out of public light. Other than that, he is a serious brother. Hernan Guna, right? More excuses. And then all I do is laugh because we already know how Arsenal are before they operate. Yeah, we know. And this is the thing. We were hoping the signs were there. We were hoping that the new sporting director would have came in and said, hey, change. I was telling Abs this yesterday. Like, whenever you take over a new organization, you're a new boss, you have to make your presence felt. You have to do something. Whenever I used to take over a new unit, you have to send a message that something is about to change. If I had to move the furniture around, rearrange the office, paint the walls, do something, you just can't go there unless it's an elite organization that's a well-oiled machine, which we are not. We are far from it. Our trophy cabinet hasn't been updated in 5 years. Ross bigging up Godfrey. Community settings again. Can we no longer be fooled by the Arsenal PR? That's the power of it. That's the power. People are actually being fooled. Yeah, they are actively being fooled. You know, some of the world's best speakers, you know, the world's best cult leaders, their biggest attribute was public speaking. PSYOP, psychological operations, propaganda. As a military man, I'm here to tell you that propaganda is actually more important than the guns and the bullets and the soldiers. Because if you can manipulate the people, if you can win the hearts and minds of the people, then they won't shoot back. They will actually turn against their own people. Right? So this is why you have, you know, top gooners turning on this one, that one, that one. Fan base is actually divided, but it's not divided at a ratio where we can tip the scale. Because the social media director at Arsenal Football Club, when they look at the AFTV feed, they see a happy bunch. They see a happy fan base. Yep, wasn't free. Edu paid 3 million. Okay. 3 million. No, that was I think I read a report. There was a you paid, but then we paid an extra 3 million just because. And now we could only get 2.5 million for it. Only memory I had of him is him crying in the Europa League game. Facts, BBK. You got to be heard. You got to, bro. You got to. Now, those players you want have an attitude problem in Arteta's eyes. What Arteta is seeing is a problem. Yeah. Nice guys. Nice guys. FC. Hypnosis equals top gooners. The assembled Arteta is the problem. The major problem. Yep. We had a couple people. But today, the comment of the day, absolutely, this one made me chuckle. So big up to E. Ross for today's comment of the day. I absolutely love it. So big up E. Ross. Big up to you, my bro.
Maybach music.
I think I'm Big Meech, Larry Hoover.
What? Big up. John Harvey again says Saka and Saliba are only good players. Players who we rely on when they are out of the team. We are abysmal because the rest of the players are pussies and not good enough to wear the badge. I am sick of it. Well, I hear it. I hear Saka and Saliba, but I don't think they're our only good players. I'm keeping Gabriel. I'm keeping Timber. I'm keeping Skelly. Wanyeri. I'm keeping Declan. Even Partey was our best midfielder this season. So I think we have some good players. I think it's a bit unfair to say it's only Saka and Saliba. Matter of fact, I think Gabriel has been our best defender this season. He was levels. He was absolute levels. But, you know, we're not an echo chamber around these parts, John Harvey. I hear you. I respect it. Big up to you, my bro. Welcome to the community. Make sure you hit the like button and the subscribe. Big up to E. Ross. Big up to Mr. Robo. Mr. Robo says, imagine we don't have Superman Partey leaves for Barcelona. All eggs on La Conga. You better not be hearing that. And we just extended his contract, didn't we? To protect his value. BBK, the problem is that the PR propaganda is unsustainable when there are no trophies. You would think. But you cannot underestimate the propaganda. If you can convince them that we're just close. You see that meme or that picture, the diamonds are close and the dude is digging and the other dude turns and go the other way. And he was so close. That's the idea, to keep the masses thinking that they're close. And then they won't revolt. They will not revolt. Arsenal always had present an aura. Now that shield is gone. Yeah, bro. I think we left that at Highbury. People, I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in this morning with me, this afternoon, wherever you are. Big up to Godfrey. Big up to Hendon Guna, Mr. Robo. Big up to you, my bro. Make sure you link up with views, man, and get my number. We have to do something. Big up to Why Not. Big up to E. Rouse, Maybach Music, the assembled AFC always. Big up to each and every one of you, man. Head over to Views. I think Views is doing a Under the Lens today. I think he has another Under the Lens. Got the support brother Views, man, but absolute legends in the chat. Big up to you, man. Big up to every single one of you. And I can't wait to chat to you, man, again. Until next time, people, take care of yourselves and each other. We are gone.